You probably came to Rio with an idea of which kind of story you could write. Did you find it?
You know, I never come with a predetermined story. I came with an opportunity to go into a particular favela environment, which I did, and hoping I would be able to work there. But all bets were off until I was there, and even when I was there, it was difficult, and I had to look around in alternatives. I went to many places and met with many people that didn't appear in the story. It's a city I find endlessly fascinating, amazingly beautiful, which is why I'm all the more horrified by what's happened to it. I could have chosen, I suppose, other cities in Latin America, all of which has aspects of Rio's problems, but nobody has them to the extremity that Rio does. Every time I come away from Rio, I think this place it's in an emergency. I remember how frustrated I felt talking to the police chief, who seemed like a really good man, and maybe he was just trying to put a brave face on a bad situation, but he was talking about Santa Marta as a model. But you know, there's 999 other favelas that they haven't walled off or cleaned up. I've looked down on Maracana Stadium. Is that the way to pronounce it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And I was on a police raid in Mangueira, which is completely under the command of drug gangs with armed weapons. And I was looking, I could have watched a game from the hill there, from the drug gang territory. I assume that they're going to host some of the events there. That's pretty bizarre to think that, you know, you would have a world event, but be overseen by, in essence, hostile forces. In the case of this article that I've seen, that someone wrote in Brazil, and you know, it echoes a certain reaction. Frankly, it's offensive and silly. I mean, the idea that they make all kinds of assumptions without knowing anything about the kind of work I do or how I did my work. The tone of the article was sectarian, and that was, in the end, what was the most painful, because it's an anti-American, it is a sectarian diatribe, really, disguised as a kind of, as an attack on my supposedly shoddy work methods, or lack of professionalism, or my inability to see anything, to see Brazil beyond certain cliched, through cliched stereotypes, like every other gringo, you know. As if all gringos are somehow stupid and can only see Brazil in a certain way. I didn't make gratuitous or slighting remarks about Brazilians. Rather oddly, as we saw with China, you know, recently, it's become a validation of national identity and sort of redemption almost. It means that it's a bit like for some countries, you know, getting the nuclear bomb. You know, if you can host the Olympics, it means that, you know, I mean, Iran isn't even trying for the Olympics, but it's trying to get the nukes. So I guess there's two ways to do it.
I think we're coming to a result here. I think it's going to be
Really?
announced now.
Really, as you speak.
As we speak. There's a man in a suit opening an envelope. Rio.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. I can return. I won't be persona non grata. Maybe this is what Brazil needs, though, is a kind of a goal, a national goal, in which all of this national pride is invested to work towards. Because otherwise, I mean, what does it take? For 30 years, the situation's just been getting worse and worse and worse.